There, that was easy.
Why is it everything I'm used to doing?
They change all of it.
They keep changing and I have to relearn. I'm not opposed to learning.
In fairness, you don't usually learn either way. So that, I think, saves some time.
That's not unfair.
You don't have to unlearn something because you didn't learn how to do it in the first place.
Well, that's not an inaccurate
I feel like
statement.
That's fair.
Not completely
in this
inaccurate.
situation.
Not completely inaccurate.
No, not completely inaccurate. That's me. Not completely inaccurate. All right, let's see.
But I mean, I have things I do almost by habit.
Oh, I know.
And now those habits have been disrupted.
Dead. Yes.
The word of the year is disrupted.
Yes, that.
But I'm feeling mighty disrupted.
Yeah, that. Oh, and it's also changed our little perfect. The streaming site we use to be able to stream to multiple platforms has changed because, of course, it did, and now I have to redo things on it. But you know what? That's fine. That's all fine. Daisy girl, are you gonna go out? Are you gonna go out with Daddy, honey?
Come on.
It's okay, Days.
Come here.
Honey bunny. Oh, why are we crying? Sorry, folks. 1 second. Why are we crying? Come here. 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 Hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. What's going on? But you can go play with you can go with Ophelia. You can go ride your bike. You want to take your bike? Why don't you shake your bike? Do you want to say hi? Yeah. Okay, come here. Let's say hi. This is my very giant Daisy, who is now 3 whole years old as of October. Okay, love bug. Hey, Daisy, can you smile? My poor Bubba. It's okay. Yeah. Hey. I know. Hey, you're going to go to the park? You're going to go ride your bike? I'll see you in a little bit, and then we'll go get our tree, okay? I love you, honey bunny. Oh, poor Bubba. So, again, nice, quiet way to begin things. Hello, folks. It's really nice to be with you. I'm sorry we have to start with my daughter crying, but that's because she's little.
Nick says, why is she upset?
She is upset because she wants to go out, but she doesn't want to go out, but she wants to go out, but she doesn't want to go out because she's 3. And that's how that works. So, yes, she is just having a bit of a hard time because because toddler, as we like to say, but she's fine. She'll go out with her dad and they'll play and then she'll be fine. It just takes a minute sometimes, which I think we all understand. Anyway, hi, everybody. It's good to be back with you. My dad was away and working, and then I went to England with Daisy. I did the thing that I told you guys about. I went on my own to the UK with my 3-year-old. That was a choice. I was nuts. It was an insane decision to make. But you know what? We did it. We survived, right? Right?
Well, we survived on the home front. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no.
Well, no, we almost didn't survive on the home front because I am such a.
In fairness, both of you. My mom and dad can barely function in terms of the new way things work.
Yeah.
So
all right. Here's a specific description.
Yes.
My whole life, in order to order a pizza, I picked up the phone. Phone had a cord attached to it.
You know what a phone used to look like, right, guys?
Right. And I phoned a number.
Melting.
And I said, "Hi, I'd like to order a pizza." Oh, that's okay. Yes, half onion, half sausage. Okay, fine. Here's my address. Okay.
And then that pizza would appear.
And then magically, and it did seem almost magical at times.
Yep.
It would come to the door, and I would pay the person who brought it.
Yep.
And then I would consume said pizza.
Yep.
Happily.
Yep. And then the internet happened. And so now it is a whole thing. for them to get food, to do anything. It's bonkers. Oh, thanks, Alan. Alan said, loved all your Instagram videos of Daisy in London. So we weren't actually in London. We were in Manchester, which is where my husband is from. And it was funny. A lot of folks were saying, "Oh, London looks great." I kept going, "We're not in London," but I'm glad you think so. No, what happened to us?
Many people, civilians.
Yes, don't know the difference. I know.
Yeah. London is England. England is London.
They are the same. Yes. So no, we're about Manchester by train is about 2 hours north, by car about 4 hours. And it's we had a great time. It was hard, but it was wonderful, and we got to see her family. She got to see her other grandma and grandpa, and some aunts and uncles and cousins,
and great grandmother,
and her great grandma, and all that good stuff. So we had a great time, and we were with our friends. When we went down to London, which is supposed to be the end part of our trip, the two of us got sick because, of course, we got sick from the little boy that we were staying with. And then came down and were sick and couldn't go out at all in London. Just had to sort of stick it out until we could come home, which we did. And here we are.
And so Daisy came back transatlantically contagious.
Yes.
And I've now caught that cold.
Both of us. Yes. Which you can't say that stuff to her, because then she goes, "I got Grandpa sick." I said, "He didn't mean it like that, Daisy. It's okay." How could you, Grandpa? How could you?
Oh, well.
Yes. Well, Doug says he still orders pizza on the phone. Well, this is the thing. It does exist. It does exist, the ability to order things on the phone. But a lot of times when you do appear on, on the phone with someone, most of the time you kind of get a, what? What do you need? Where are we? What are we doing? And both of us, our patience is not strong enough for that most of the time, which I get. You guys, Victoria says, "You guys are going to really force me to get Instagram." Look, everything has its purpose, right? I like Instagram for the stories. My Facebook is not public because it's where I share a lot more family stuff, and I kind of keep that just for myself. But I like sharing.
Selfish of you.
Selfish. I know, I'm bad. I figure if you can see us on the Instagram, you can see us on the X Twitter thing.
And YouTube.
And that's plenty. So, I mean, me personally.
Oh, you personally.
Me personally.
Got it.
We should mention that my dad has a new podcast that has launched very recently. And he's working with this fellow. We did, if you guys got to hear it at all, we did a show with Jim Cummings, who is very well known in the animation world. He's got to be one of the most prolific voice actors.
He's one of the busiest cartoon voice
and has
performers.
Been since the 80s.
Yeah.
And so we had him on our show, and he had my dad on his show. And we from that, someone who works with Jim reached out to me and asked if my dad would want to do another sort of a movie podcast. And we said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So it's now him. We are
not in a period of my life when I'm saying no.
No.
Very much.
No, but it's called
we're open to new possibilities.
It's the Movie Guide podcast with Malton and Davis. And there's this lovely Australian guy named Guy Davis. And the two of you talk about movies. And each episode is dedicated to a film.
About a half hour of chatter.
Of deep divey discussion.
We'll have just revisited the film. So our, memories, our thoughts are fresh.
Yeah.
And we have a really good time. It's just two guys talking about movies they like.
Yeah. So it's a new show. You can find it on his various platformy plate because we're reposting it. But yeah, it's called the Movie Guide Pod. And you're having a lot of fun with it.
I am.
It's funny. I think you're so used to doing stuff with me that our shorthand, that's the only downside of working as a family, is that your shorthand is really short. And when you start working with someone else, not blood related to you, they then have to learn all of the things that we just look at each other and know. But that's what you get. You've been stuck with us for so long. Greetings, Maltons. What movies make you cry without fail and laugh without fail?
I cry at anything now. I cry at supermarket openings.
Yeah.
I
I'm a
find
pretty
very,
easy
I'm very
crier.
sentimental.
Pretty
Very
easy
sentimental.
crier. You have found that you're a lot more sensitive to anything with little kids and babies.
Yes, I am, and your
Because of
your mother
Daisy.
too, because of the experience of watching Daisy from day 2 or
Yeah,
so
yeah.
on, and seeing her grow and mature and have feelings,
Big feelings.
big feelings.
You weren't in that. We showed her Ugly Duckling from
Oh, no.
So Hans Christian Andersen was on TCM today, and we came in. I'm pointing upstairs because that's where my mother's room is. She's up there. We went into the room and she had it on, and they were at one of the ballet sequences. And I said, "Oh man, I really want to show Daisy Thumbelina." And I was having trouble finding that to show. And so instead we came upon Ugly Duckling and we showed her Ugly Duckling. And one of the most incredible things, and all of you who have kids, our grandparents know, is they're watching their comprehension abilities change.
Mm-hmm.
So we watch it, and when it's almost done, she goes, "He feels better now. He was sad." And I yelled,
miraculous.
I yelled to my mother, who was 5 feet away. I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And
Miraculous.
she said, "He was sad. Now he feels better." And it finished. And he goes, "He's happy now." And I was just like, "Oh, you got that? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The Ugly Duckling. That's it." So yeah, sorry, that was just an amazing
boy, oh
moment.
boy.
Yes, the Silly Symphonies one is great too. This is the Danny Kaye, Hans Christian Andersen. And I have a deep love for Danny Kaye, thanks to my parents. So getting to share it with Daisy is always a joy. Anyway,
I have been watching.
You and Mommy have been on it.
Been watching lots and lots and lots of new.
So we didn't answer
movies.
the question. What makes you laugh? What makes you cry?
Oh, okay.
We didn't answer
what
the
makes
question.
me laugh? Well, I'm going to talk a bit about Laurel and Hardy today.
They make us laugh.
They make me laugh.
Yeah.
Charlie Chase makes me laugh.
Yes.
The Marx Brothers makes me laugh. I mean, there's no surprise answers here.
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny usually makes us laugh.
I saw a Looney Tune I don't remember having seen before on the new Volume 4 Collector's Edition Blu-ray. It's called, it's called.
I would help you if I could.
Make it up. It's a later Chuck Jones one, Hair Arabian Nights, something like that.
It's a great name, even if it's made up.
Pretty funny with Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
Yosemite Sam as a medieval knight, as opposed to
obviously. How else would you picture Yosemite Sam? And it was a good one.
It made me laugh.
There you go. All of those things make me laugh. I think my sort of line drawn is I don't like comedy that's at the expense of someone. That doesn't work for me. I don't like comedy that is mean or sort of gross. I don't really understand gross. There are little things that can be funny. There are moments that can be funny. The fact that people still use diarrhea with such frequency to be funny, don't find that particularly funny. But for me, it's like I love South Park. Now, I know some people don't, and that's okay. And Jonathan, I already know what you're going to say. You don't like South Park. I know that about you. I love Family Guy. I love South Park because they're intelligent. As much as it may sort of, there's disguise there, they're funny because they're smart. And so many of the jokes are smart. And obviously with Family Guy as well, they make so many musical theater references. Yeah. And I love that. So that's pretty stable. In terms of cry.
The last TV show I remember laughing at consistently is Veep.
Yeah, that's true. You guys, you loved that.
Loved
Veep.
Really made me laugh. And I'm looking forward to the new season of Bookie.
Yes. Yeah.
Which just started Thursday night.
Have you seen any of Franchise?
No.
Scott and I have been watching Franchise. We like that.
Okay.
We like Franchise.
Good.
Very British, but we like it. I would say cry. It actually, for any of you who are on TikTok, one of the bread and butter things on there is people posting clips of movies and posting them piece by piece by piece. And one popped up that I hadn't thought of in a really long time. Man in the Moon, Reese Witherspoon's film debut. And God, I remember watching that when I was young, and it broke my heart multiple times. And I just hadn't thought about it in a long time. And then seeing little snippets again, it just made me cry because I thought, oh God, yeah, this movie really hit. Looking at it now, it's cheesy. There are things in it, but it just, again, when you watch something can have such an effect. Kevin says, I see that Taschen's new Ultimate History of Donald Duck book retails for $200 on Amazon. Wow. $200 for Taschen is normal. That's low on the Taschen
that's
scale.
On the low end. Yeah.
Yeah. We, I will say, I think probably the most expensive book we have purchased was that Records one.
Yes.
For my dad's birthday / Hanukkah, we got him
the Taschen book about the man who designed record album covers when record albums came to be a thing in the 40s, late 40s into the 50s.
It was huge.
And I know his name.
Yep.
And at some point in the next 45 minutes,
it'll pop back in there.
I hope it'll come to
that book was $700. But it was one of those things where it was like, we're doing it. Here you go. Yeah. Ryan says there's a limited edition of 1,000 copies of the Donald Taschen that is $650. Yeah. No, Taschen books. I will say though, if you are someone who loves books, and we are, their art, and they're so beautiful that at the very least, to me, they feel worth that. It's not something where you go, I'm sorry, how much money do you want? You look at them and the care and the time and the effort that goes into them. They're just beautiful. As well as good books. They're beautiful, but also really interesting. So, they're not cheap, but at least it's something you can collect that you'll have forever and love.
Before I start going, someone's asking me about a recent release.
Sorry, Jeffrey's just saying, have you seen the Robert Zemeckis film Here? I found it fascinating. And I bring it up only because you liked it, but almost no one else seems to.
Yeah, but I'm going to table that for just a moment. All of the 10 best lists are now coming out from the various critics groups and others.
Various critic groups and others.
The AFI.
Yeah.
Their 10 best list.
Well, I'm seeing, I'd never heard of the name Bosca, which is the Boston critic. I was just looking at it because it made me BOFCA, BOFCA.
Okay.
The Boston Online Film Critics Association. BOFCA. Go on.
Jack, you're the Josh.
It's Josh. It's Josh Clement.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah, it's Josh.
You will see me introducing White Christmas tonight. That's true.
Yes.
Someone else just sent me a screenshot of me introducing White Christmas.
Yeah.
I just last week
for the Fathom events
recorded 12 more Fathom introductions for the year 2025.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be working with and for them. They're good people.
They're lovely people.
And
they sent chocolate. What more do I need?
And they get a great turn. White Christmas is I think their biggest.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is the biggest success they've had this year.
I'm sure. Well, Lynn just said it's time for my yearly watch of White Christmas. That's it. There are so many movies that have such a hold on us, especially, during holidays and certainly Christmas time. It doesn't surprise me that would do well for them. Yes. Oh, Kent is saying I grew up watching everything Danny Kaye here in Norway in the 80s. That's so interesting. I love Danny Kaye. I wish that I didn't know stories about his wife and him being a bit difficult because I want to pretend like that never happened. But as far as I'm concerned, it just doesn't get much better than him.
Yeah.
And his wife was a genius. So I can't.
Your mother had the great fortune to see him in person.
Yeah.
At the Palace Theater.
Lucky.
In New York.
Lucky. So list wise, Wicked. Yeah. Yes. My dad saw Wicked. Wicked.
So here's the thing that's puzzling me. There are differences of opinion, of course, every year. And some people like some movies better than others. You dislike this one. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
The one that has us completely flummoxed is they don't call them foreign films anymore.
International.
I don't know why.
Because international is why.
International. at LAFCA, we still have in the LA Film Critics Association, we have the rather lumpy description, film not in the English language.
I don't know where they came up with that one.
That's got to we got to come up with a better
not a good title.
better phraseology.
Not a good title.
Anyway, the title that's getting cited more than any other is an Indian film called
All We See Is
All We Imagine.
All We Imagine as Light. As Light.
And Alice and I went to see it at a screening at the AFI. Actually, it was a class screening where the filmmaker was there afterwards, and she was very interesting. Glad I got to hear her speak. And the film left us totally cold.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
The film did not get through to us, and yet it is, being celebrated.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, Josh has been saying to me he really liked Blitz, which I'm going to try and watch.
Oh, I liked.
And you did, but Josh says I'm on Team Blitz. Our boat is rather lonely.
Our boat has many vacancies because last year the film that got sort of shut out was Ferrari, Michael Mann's film Ferrari.
Yeah,
nobody talked about it. I don't know if they liked it or not. No one even mentioned it.
Yeah,
I thought it was awfully good, but
it's a very strange thing when that kind of thing happens. Where we've talked about it before, but when somebody reacts to the movie and think it's fantastic. Well, there you go. So Chris says, I saw All We Imagine as Light last week and adored it. Thought it was fantastic. We'll see, but this is the thing, isn't it? And I brought it up before, but isn't it fascinating when it's not just, I don't like it, I do like it. It's this did absolutely nothing for me to, I thought this was great. Now, as a filmmaker, I always say the same thing. I would rather have that reaction. I would rather people feel strongly one way or the other, because at least then you're doing something, something, you're getting an emotion out of people. But it is strange to think that it's just such a significant difference. Wicked, we've talked about it a little bit. You thought it was fun. You liked it, didn't love it.
Yeah, I'm a I was not a fan of the play. Musical play. Yeah. I'm so in love with the 1939 movie of The Wizard of Oz that I feel that this, which of course is a reactive piece. I was going to say parasite, but that's a negative word. But it's built on our knowledge of and love of that wonderful movie based on the Elfric Baum book.
Yeah, that became Elfric. L. Frank.
I showed it in my class, and it was directed by John Amenchu, who I like very much.
We like him a whole lot.
And a very talented guy. And he worked with, he's a USC cinema grad who worked with Alice Brooks, his director, cinematographer. They worked together on his thesis film 25 years ago, and that was a musical. So he knows musicals. He really knows them well, and has made several good ones.
Okay, I'm going to speed up my dad's explanation. This is what he texted me when I said, how was it? He said, it's spectacular, but empty, in my opinion. For a long time until they get into the Elphaba stuff, then it gets good. But I still don't love the story. It's fundamentally a ripoff of The Wizard of Oz, a great, great movie. This can never hope to equal. So that's my faster answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think that...
Feel free to do that at any time.
Oh, all day. I think that's... See, a lot of the people that are loving the film love the show.
Yes, and you're going in.
And so you're having
you're going in loving it already.
People are already doing that. I haven't seen it yet. I finally got to watch some movies on the airplane. That was exciting. When Daisy was asleep, because I had 11 hours, I watched Beetlejuice, which is fine. It's fine. Is it necessary in any way? No. But it wasn't offensive. It was fine. It felt like they took a whole bunch of ideas, threw them at a wall, and said, yeah, let's just do all of them. It'll be fine. I watched Blink twice, which I deeply hated. which is interesting because a lot of people are, I know, right? I know he hated it too. I thought it was disgusting and there's no point to it. And then I watched Challengers, which is something I had wanted to see. No, you know what, Ken, a lot of times, sorry, Ken is saying Leonard writes text like he writes reviews. He writes them to me like that. But other times they're just like, it was terrible or it was great. I'll see you soon. I think with this one, it was bubbling and you were beginning to think about how, so yeah. I think that's why it was particularly more of a review text. So Challengers, again, didn't love, but I thought the 3 leads were really good. And I thought that Mike Feist, Zendaya, and Josh O'Connell, I thought they were O'Connor, were really, really good. And so even though I don't think the story is great, I thought they were really great to watch. And then, God,
I thought they were good. I thought the film was titillating, and intriguing, and then didn't add up to much.
Yeah, it was fine. And then I said, there's other stuff in there. I watched them all back to back, so my brain is kind of like, I watched back to back. Remind me of the name of the movie, Back to Black, the one about Amy Winehouse. Now I don't know how many of you have seen the documentary Amy. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
Such a good documentary.
I watched it knowing nothing about Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
And it did everything it was supposed to do. It told me her story.
Yeah.
And it told me her story empathetically. You know, it was very sympathetic to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt sad when it was over because
it breaks your heart.
Introduced to this talent.
Yeah. Which Back to Black doesn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Black does not make you feel anything really. It's fine. It was very much controlled by her family, which is why it doesn't get deep the way it should. But it sort of ends and it does one of those title cards at the end where it's like, Amy Winehouse died right after this. And you go, okay. Very strange. But yeah, that documentary, I could not recommend it enough. Ryan is saying, have you seen Wicked the play? Yes, I saw Wicked on stage. And I'll tell you my feeling. I saw it. I was, I think, 18. I went to New York City. I used to visit one of my really, really good friends there who lived in Long Island. And she was also a theater nerd. So we'd always go see a bunch of shows together because they were affordable then. And we could do that. Wicked was the most expensive ticket I'd ever bought, though. It was $100 for one ticket. It's the very first time I ever paid that kind of money to see a show. Normally, what, $45, maybe even $50 was getting steep, you know, but you go to New York and you'd see a bunch of shows and now you can't because they're all too expensive. And that's why a bunch of them are closing, which is another rant. But I find that really deeply upsetting that they're just charging so much money to see shows and then the shows are closing and you go, well, yeah, because nobody can afford to see them. Anyway, when I saw Wicked the Musical on Broadway and I saw it with Kristen Chenoweth had just left and I had Idina Menzel. I liked the show. I didn't think it was anything special. But the reason I say that is because I'm a musical theater nerd who grew up watching what I would describe as some of the best shows that exist, with some of the greatest overtures and greatest numbers. And there's a reason why they are classics and they get reprised and all that sort of stuff. So to me, Wicked was good, but I understood why people liked it. And the reason they liked it is because it's been such a long time since there was a big scale musical, like a big one. Because in that moment, a lot of stuff was getting smaller. It was things like Avenue Q, which I love. I love Avenue Q. But things were getting smaller and sort of more snide. And they were kind of
snarky.
A little bit more snarky, which I don't mind. But it was just a different time for shows. And this was like, I'm going to take my kid to see a real Broadway musical with a big ensemble. Big everything, big sets, big numbers. And so even though I didn't think that it was great, I completely understood why people would want to see it and why it remained and remains so popular Because again, I mean, if I was going to take Daisy to see a show, that's the kind of show you'd take her to, because it's exactly the kind of thing, this is not, you don't take a younger kid to something quiet, like, no, I know, Josh.
Or deconstructed.
Yeah.
Musical.
You don't go and see those things. You want to take them to something that's going to make them fall in love with it, and that's a really big difference. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt with that. There's a whole bunch of movies you can go over, and you have a little list. I'm just going to have you answer a few questions while they're here.
Okay.
Yes, I will tell you, Arthur. Arthur just said, Jesse and Leonard, have you ever met Audra McDonald? Let me tell you, Arthur. I was not ready. And my dad has seen me freeze a number of times around people that I am.
Starting with the Olsen twins.
Yeah, I was little. I was young.
You were really young.
They were in a room. Was it in Vegas? Was it
yes,
for the convention?
It was the video software dealers.
Convention. And my dad said, do you want to meet the Olsen twins? And we went into the room that they were in with a whole bunch of people. And I just went, no. And we left. I was too nervous to say hi to them. It happened actually twice. The night that we met Audra McDonald was the night that we also met Christine Baranski.
Yeah.
And the night that we met Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara.
Right. This is all at the Critics' Choice Association Awards banquet.
I froze.
Is it a banquet when they don't feed you anything?
That's event with very little food. I froze meeting Eugene and Catherine because I love them so much I could die. Okay. I couldn't even make words. I was so excited. Then a friend of mine, Nyambi, who is on The Good Fight, I see him and he's sitting at a table with Christine Baranski and Audra McDonald. And I just kind of went, because Christine Baranski, I mean, she's in The Birdcage, one of my favorite movies ever. She's a phenomenal actress, comedy and drama.
Right.
But then she's also an incredible performer. She's truly one of the best we have right now. She can, whether it's Broadway or a straight show like The Good Fight, she's amazing. And then there is Audra McDonald. That I did take a picture of him. I couldn't, but I took a picture of you. I had no words. And then I just went up to Nyambi and I was like, how do you do this? Because I melted, because they're two of the greatest performers, I feel. Nick said they just did a story about her and being in Gypsy. Yes. So one of my best friends is one of the producers on the Broadway revival of Gypsy. And Audra McDonald is playing the lead role. I don't really see her as that. Like, I don't picture her as a Mama Rose. No, I'm sure she's going to be fantastic.
I can't. Alice and I saw a revival of Gypsy with Angela Lansbury.
Yeah. Well,
who was miscast.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always good.
Well, it's like
and sometimes great.
Do you remember when Bernadette Peters was Mama Rose? And the way they described her performance was vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't want a vulnerable Mama Rose. Tyne Daly. Tyne Daly is Mama Rose. That's a Mama Rose. There are a number of people who can do that. Obviously, we love Ethel Merman. We love Rosalind Russell, but and this is definitely one of those things where, because they are in my head, that's definitely how I see Gypsy. Yeah. So it's also very possible that somebody seeing it for the first time would enjoy it because they don't have that bias, Without naming names, has anyone been rude to Mr. Malton? And if so, how did he handle it? You think somebody can be mean to this? You think someone can be mean to this little face?
I've had very few negative encounters. Mm-hmm. That's not me being Pollyanna-ish. I've had very few rotten apples,
Yeah. I would say we've seen people be not nice in our vicinity, but not to you or me. This is a long time ago. He was doing a junket for, what was it called? It was Kevin Bacon and Elizabeth Shue. and you were interviewing both of them. It was the remake of whatever the thin, not the Thin Man.
Footloose.
No, not Footloose. It's the one where he's like a ghost. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It's the remake.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Nobody liked it. They were both really unpleasant to me, and I found that very upsetting. This is a really long time ago, and I have no idea what they're like, but they were nice to you, and that's all that really matters. So like, that's one of the only ones I've got. As I say, I've seen people be not nice to other people. Obviously, I hear from all my friends who work in publicity about the people who are not very nice. But yeah, I would say for us, pretty all right. Yeah. Hollow Man. Thank you, Craig.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man. No one saw it. No one cared.
Yeah.
1 second. Yeah. Sorry. Entertainment is getting unfairly expensive now. Well, see, that's my problem. As I say, I don't understand how people can be upset that a show on Broadway is closing when you made it so expensive that they can't go. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. So you have been watching lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of movies because you've been having to vote.
And then more.
And then more lots.
And I'll keep watching because I want to publish my own favorite list.
Of course, yeah.
Of the year.
We always do.
And I now am an Academy member.
Yeah, which is neat.
So I get to vote for, in the first round, I get to vote for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the second round, I get to vote in every category except for the ones that require signups.
Yeah.
For specialties. But among my favorite films are several that are actually not easy to see right now.
Yeah.
Some of them have been opening only for 1 week to qualify for the Academy Awards.
Which is always confusing.
Like Walter Salles' film, I'm Still Here. The great Brazilian filmmaker, Walter Salles, who made Central Station and then made my favorite of his films,
Motorcycle
The
Diaries.
Motorcycle Diaries. A great, great movie, which I've seen several times and wouldn't mind seeing again. This is his new film, very much about Brazil. It takes place during the early 70s when they were under dictatorship. And it's very moving. And it's really good. I'm Still Here by Walter Salles. That opens in January. That's why I put it aside. Another film that doesn't open until Christmas Day is one of my favorites of the year, A Complete Unknown. James Mangold's film, which he wrote with Jay Cox. About Bob Dylan.
And it's got a killer cast.
And I'm not a Bob Dylan fan. I love this movie.
I saw an interview with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
And he was saying, because they did a lot of the performances live.
Yes.
Which was stressful because they knew that if it doesn't work, if there's a bad take, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But he found that his voice sounded better, as in he felt more authentic doing it for real in front of an audience in a shot versus recording in Burbank where he did, because he said this way it felt more like he was trying to really embody Bob Dylan and the whole performance versus just sort of standing by yourself and singing. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm not his biggest fan.
Yeah.
He's great in this movie. He's great. And his delivery of the songs is great too.
Yeah.
And he didn't imitate Bob Dylan.
He does a little bit, but it's not any kind of.
But he didn't do the Bob Dylan thing, and maybe that's why I like the songs better.
Yeah, maybe.
The songs are so beautifully showcased. Yeah. And also, I must say, Edward Norton would not be my first knee-jerk choice to play Pete Seeger, a man I grew up watching and listening to, so I'm very aware of him. But he's great. He becomes Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
It's a really.
And you and Mommy both felt this way about this film. You were both really taken with it.
And Monica Barbaro plays Joan Baez. I mean,
it's a whole group.
No one sounds like Joan Baez except Joan Baez.
Yeah.
No one sounds like Bob Dylan except Bob Dylan. But they're persuasive enough that if you're buying into the film at all, you're going to say
This works.
this
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I just want to. Arthur's asking if you are a Disney legend. And somebody whose name here is "It all started with Walt Disney" says, "Not yet, but he should be." I just want to say that's what I think.
Well,
Anyway, go on.
I don't agree, but I'm an observer of Disney.
Sure. If Oprah can be a Disney legend, you can be a Disney legend.
Well,
I'll just throw in. Alan is asking if you finally saw Megalopolis. He didn't like it, and no, I don't think you're ever going to see Megalopolis, and you'll live a very happy, long life.
I'm going to.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, because I ought to, and I have to.
All right.
September 5th, another great film this year.
When does it open? Or did it open?
It's opening in New York and LA.
It's doing the tiny open. Sure.
Maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
But then January is when it's really going to open. And I hope it gets the attention. September 5th is a great movie. It's a Swiss director, German funded.
Yes.
Co-produced by Sean Penn. It's all American story.
Yeah.
It is the story of the 1972 Munich Olympics massacre, and which another version was told in Steven Spielberg's film Munich.
Mm-hmm.
This is entirely taken from the point of view of the people in the control room of ABC Sports, which was on the scene in Munich covering the Olympic Games, completely unprepared to cover a live breaking news story, a world class, if that's quite the word, breaking news story with tragic overtones. So, and if you've ever spent any time in a control room or control booth, you'll know how authentic this is.
Yeah.
That you get so wrapped up in what you're doing that you lose track of the larger implications of what's going on that you're covering.
And it stars Peter Sarsgaard and John Magaro, and I really like John Magaro.
John Magaro is really good. It's a good showcase for him.
Yeah.
This is going to increase his...
you would think, but so I would put money that most of you do not know his name. If you look him up, you might. He was on Orange is the New Black. He's in First Cow. A handful of things, but he's one of those actors who's just always really, really good.
Yeah.
And I will enjoy the day that they do one of these up and coming articles about him because he's been working for a long time. But I would love to see him get more attention because he's great.
The Brutalist, another film that probably won't show up at your local multiplex. It's 3.5 hours long.
Oh, sorry. Forgive me for a second. Jonathan just asked us if this is live. Yes, Jonathan, this is live. This is happening in real life right now. We are really here. Go on.
I'm Leonard. This is my daughter, Jessie. Just keep things straight.
Yeah.
The Brutalist is a film by Brady Corbet, former child actor, profiled in the New Yorker this past week. Very interesting profile.
One of the biggest things he did was the movie 13 with Evan Rachel Wood.
Yes.
And Nikki.
Yeah.
Her.
Right.
Yep.
He worked as a
Nikki Reed.
As a kid, as an adolescent, with some of the top indie filmmakers in the world. And so had interesting experiences. And then he decided that acting wasn't doing it for him anymore. And he started writing and directing. And he hasn't had a high profile movie yet.
Yeah.
Until now. The Brutalist is a story told on a big canvas with a great performance by Adrian Brody, who should win the Oscar. Personal opinion. Because he is this character. You don't think he's acting. You think that he is this guy. And this guy is an architect who survived the Holocaust in Hungary and moves to the U.S., to Pittsburgh, where he has a friend who'll give him a place to sleep, and then he meets a guy, a wealthy guy played by Guy Pearce, who becomes his patron, and things go from there.
When somebody asked before about the LAFCA
Yeah.
winners, and I pulled up the list to go through it, but how did in the room, because it was runner up, The Brutalist was runner up for Best Picture. But then was anything else, like, were they up for, was anything else discussed?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of near misses.
Okay. So the rest of the group likes it too. Like it has positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a film that was been well received.
The LA film critics, they vote in person. They all sit in a room. And, Lord help us. They all sit in a room together.
Yes, there were 36 of us there, and I think 7 people sent proxies.
Aren't there 50 people together?
Yeah.
It's like 52, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's your 50th year.
Yeah.
LAFCA, this is their 50th awards or 50th years of existence or awards? Existence. And how many years have you been in? 30? 40?
Pushing 40.
Pushing 40. I wonder who the oldest member is. I have so many questions. Anyway, but they vote together. They sit in a room and they discuss.
It's a verbal vote.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And we vote 3-2-1. And then they add it up and they do a runoff vote.
I just realized we passed your medicine.
Yeah. Okay. So it's okay.
It's okay.
We do a runoff vote based on the tally.
So one of the things is if you look at the list that they announce, they always put up the runner-up as well. So I'm showing you as if you can see on my phone. So the best picture for the LA Film Critics this year was Anora, but the runner-up was Brutalist.
Right. Sean Baker's Anora.
Yeah.
Another of the best films of the year, which
my mother strongly disagrees over.
A Real Pain. Really good. And I'm so excited I get to present.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that's a thing you can say.
To Jesse Eisenberg at the LA Film Critics dinner in several weeks.
In January, which is almost now. Please, Nick says please pause so we can get his medicine.
Nickel Boys.
That's on him, Nick.
Yeah.
Do you want to just take your pills because you're going to forget?
No.
You and me, Nick, we tried. Go on.
Nickel Boys. Ramel Ross, a new-ish director, one other feature under his belt, who took a revolutionary road, I guess, to adopting Colson Whitehead's Pulitzer Prize-winning book.
Pulitzer Prize-winning
book about 2 boys who are sent to what is essentially a reform school in Florida, and it turns out that it's really a work farm. It's a prison work farm, but it's shot entirely from the 2 boys' point of view. You see point of view scenes in movies. This is the first time that I think anyone has done a feature from 2 point of views, cameras. It's unusual. It's striking, and it's very, very good.
It's gotten a lot of attention.
Yes. Ghostlight, sleeper of the year, one of the sleepers of the year, made by people who are professionals but not well known in the Midwest, and it's a simple but very moving story about a guy who's a dad, he's a husband, and he's a blue-collar worker who falls in with a community theater group and finds the transcendent power of theater, of performing, of being an actor. Simple, but not simple.
Ken says, loved Ghostlight. I'm glad you got to see it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Sing Sing.
Also getting a lot of attention.
Yes.
With our boy Coleman Domingo, who should just win everything all the time.
And the unsung hero of that is Clarence Macklin, whose story it is. He's an ex-convict and who got into a program or helped create a program called
This is the Shakespeare. Is it Shakespeare Behind Bars or is it a different one?
It's not Shakespeare Behind Bars,
but it's like that.
Yeah, it's something through art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom through art or something like that.
Rehabilitation
Anyway,
through art.
this is a person who goes.
RTA, rehabilitation through art.
There you go.
I think that's right.
If not, you made it up and it sounded completely legit.
Yes.
So I'll go with that.
I tried. And I'm the only one, apparently, who is waving the flag still for Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders,
Yeah.
which got screwed. It was
Yeah.
supposed to come out last year, showed at AFI Fest last year, and then Searchlight decided to postpone it and then never gave it a real release. It's awfully good, I think. Awfully good.
Very frustrating.
And it's got fine performances by Jodie Comer and Tom Hardy and Austin Butler, and Michael Shannon, who is
his go-to.
Jeff Nichols' good luck charm.
Yeah, never a bad time.
Yeah.
No, this is we've talked to you guys before about this. It's very strange at award season, how they choose to release movies, what they do with movies. I mean, it's strange. Sometimes it's just strange in general. You'll see them dump a film. And what I always say to that is, you spent however many $1 million making it. Why are you deciding now that you're not going to do anything with it? Surely you would have made that decision before a whole film was made.
Yeah.
But apparently not. So that's really hard when they play these games timing wise and then stuff gets lost. It's a terrible situation to be in. Someone over here is saying that they're going to go see White Christmas tomorrow at the Americana. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy his introduction. I am hopefully going to be taking Daisy over to the Americana to see all the Christmas lights because it's so pretty. I'm a big fan of doing that. It's a lovely place to be. 1 second. Josh was saying that 4 females being discussed in lead at LAFCA shows the deep bench this year for actresses. And
That's
it's true. So
last year, the group, though not all of us in the group, voted to go genderless, as did the New York Film Critics and as did the
Spirit
Awards. So as a result, we wanted to maintain 2 lead performances.
Your version is better.
Yeah.
So here's the problem.
Because we still honor 4 people.
But that's it. Spirit Awards has taken it down to 1. So you now have a pool of 10 people and only 1 person wins, which I think is stupid. Especially because one of the things that awards do for films is get them attention.
Yeah.
So especially at something like the Independent Spirit Awards, every award carries weight. Because it could be, all right, well, maybe this gets it that much more attention. So if you have 2 leads win and they could win for 2 separate movies, then that might get them attention, might get the film attention. It's not smart. So for what LAFCA does is they do 2 and 2. So it's 2 best leads, 2 best supportings. And what that means is that you could have all men or all women or a combo.
And this year we have 2 women in the lead.
And 2 men in supporting. So Marianne Jean-Baptiste won for Hard Truths, and Mikey
Which
Madison,
also doesn't open until January. It's Mike Lee's new film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Mikey Madison for Nora. And your 2 best supportings are Yura Borisov for Nora and Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, which is interesting. So yeah, going through, I mean, you guys have cinematography went to Nickel Boys, screenplay went to Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain. You got editing, production design. Your musical score went to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Challengers. And I didn't really like their score for Challengers. Normally, I like them very much. That one just didn't work for me. Your best animation was Flow. And the runner-up is Chicken for Linda. Have you seen Chicken for Linda?
I didn't vote in this category because I still haven't seen Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the Looney Tunes movie.
Yes. Is a whole thing. And then their career achievement this year is going to be for John Carpenter, which is something they do every year. They pick somebody and honor them, which is neat. Somebody did mention before, what was the other animated one that you really liked? I think it was on Netflix.
The Wild Robot.
Yeah, Wild Robot.
Great movie.
Would you say that's one of your favorite this year?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
There you go.
By Chris Sanders, who devised and designed Lilo and Stitch, and then did How to Train Your Dragon for DreamWorks. So he's been at Disney, he's been at DreamWorks. He's
done a little bit of everything. Yeah. Lynn says sometimes the ones that get the awards are not the ones that truly deserve the awards. Well, that's always going to be the case. If you look at they announced the nominations for Golden Globes, and first of all, I mean, the categories are hilarious. in the same way that even the Critics' Choice have added in some categories that are like best movie that made the most money.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Again, on the one hand, I'm happy for things to get attention because it's, I want people to be supported.
By the way, yes, I have seen The Order with Jude Law. And Ty Sheridan. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's a very good film.
Yeah.
Good, strong, American-made movie.
But not getting.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's
meant to be
award worthy. It's just really
it's just
good.
a really good movie, and that's okay too.
Yep.
No, Nick, we don't really care about the Golden Globes either. It's more so just funny to see like something put into the musical category. It would be like putting Schindler's List in the musical category, and you go, really? But
I know it's a matter of semantics, but I'm not referring to Emilia Perez as a musical. Because to me, it is not. It is a uncategorizable film.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit in any pigeonhole. It's a story that it's like a telenovela turned melodrama turned violent action movie with songs, with musical production numbers, but somehow not a musical. Not in the way I would define a musical.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. Crazy. Have you seen Conclave? You did, didn't you?
Yes, I like Conclave very much.
Yeah. No, it's nice. There's a lot of good movies right now, which feels good. It's always nice when you've got a list. Kevin Maynard's just mentioning September 5th. Yes, my love, you missed it before. My dad talked about it a bit.
One of the best of the year, no question.
Huge fan of that film. So I say, it's always crazy this time of year because there's just so much to try and catch up with. And in every category, that's true. For shorts, for documentaries, everything. Craig says, I'm guessing you didn't like Hard Truths despite your love of Mike Leigh.
I didn't love Hard Truths. Marianne Jean-Baptiste's character is so... The whole point of the film is she is a miserable human being.
That's a Mike Leigh movie.
No, this is beyond. She is a miserable human being. And the point of the movie is there's a reason.
Right.
And when you encounter somebody...
Like every other Mike Leigh movie. Tell me that's not his MO. Truly. He has at least one absolutely miserable lead character. Like minimum one really miserable character. And then you find out why.
All right, never mind.
But isn't that true?
No.
Happy-go-lucky.
The main character is not miserable.
I'm saying one of the main characters.
Okay.
There's two main characters in Happy-go-lucky. One of them is fine. I mean, annoying.
Yeah.
But then you've got...
But Eddie Marsan is not one of the main characters. He's
he is.
Supporting character.
They spend most of the movie with him yelling and teaching her how to drive. Anyway, no, look, that's Mike Leigh.
All right.
Mike Leigh likes misery. It's just his go-to. Dare I ask about Gladiator 2? You saw it? Yeah.
I enjoyed Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
To my pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I think it's a very entertaining and well-made film. Denzel Washington seems to be having a good time.
Yeah, he's having a blast.
Yeah.
He's loving his life.
And Paul Mescal is very good.
Mescal.
I
I know that because I love him.
Yeah. He's very good.
The interesting thing right now is, you have something like Gladiator 2. There's a big movie, big noisy movie.
Yeah.
And everybody I know who's seen it, who really loves the original, because I grew up, I grew up with it, the original, and it made such an impact because we went with my Latin class in 7th grade. My Latin class went to see Gladiator. I like that movie a lot. What I'm hearing from folks who remember the first and like it is this one is sort of fine. That's kind of what the response has been. It's fine.
What you said about Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No one's offended. But
that's how I felt about Moana 2. It's a sequel.
No, you didn't like. People are panning Moana 2.
But
that's more than I don't think Beetlejuice is terrible. Okay. It's just not needed.
Yeah.
But people with Moana 2 are not happy. And you showed it in class.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'll never see it.
Yeah.
Have you seen Juror 2?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
He's
not a great.
92. He can do what he wants.
It's not a great movie.
It's Clint Eastwood. He's
But it's-
92. He can do whatever he feels
It's a
like.
very watchable movie,
There you go.
and I like Nicholas Hoult.
I always like Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he's
He's
also
so
in
good.
a film I did not care for, Nosferatu.
Oh, when did you see it?
In a moment of foolish
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. It's
choice making.
scary. Did you hold mommy's hand the whole time?
No.
Did you break mommy's hand?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Did she watch it too?
a lot of blood.
What did she think?
She hated it.
Well, that sounds about right. Whoop. That's weird. Sorry, guys. Keep going. That's new. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so no to Nosferatu.
Note for me, I'm not a Robert Eggers fan.
Mhm.
I'm not attuned. We're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Apparently, he and I.
He and I.
He came to my class one night before the Northmen, and he was a good guest.
Yeah.
I've been warned. Don't ask this. Don't be aware of that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to step on eggshells to talk to him, but I didn't care for the film either.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse. I'm just not.
Not for you.
No.
That's fine.
And this Nosferatu is a very good-looking film. The production design is fantastic. The locations that he chose in the Czech Republic, are perfect. They're all good in it.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, they're all really good. But the film, to me, was just, I'll take Max Schreck.
Whatever works,
Yeah.
whatever works.
Yes.
Yes, lots of rats. My favorite thing reading about and watching some of the interviews about Nosferatu, especially with Bill Skarsgård, is them talking about having to get 5,000 trained rats. And I think he was on Graham Norton or something where they went, there's one guy who's been training rats for years, and this is his moment. Somebody said, does anybody have any trained rats? And this one guy said, oh my God, my time is now. This is it.
Yeah.
You're bringing up all the ones I haven't even asked. Have you seen Baby Girl?
Well, we started watching that at home
Okay.
on one of our links.
Oh, didn't had it broke in half?
And no. About a half hour in, your mother said, this is stupid.
Sounds about right.
I don't want to watch any more of this. This is stupid.
Oh, mommy.
Nicole Kidman plays a very successful CEO of a company, and they have an internship program, and this smart-assy guy, young guy, gets in the program, and in order to insinuate himself into her life,
Mm-hmm.
where he wants to dominate her.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a feeling that she is somebody who wants to be dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the premise of the movie.
And that's the there you go.
There you go.
I also love Graham Norton, and I love it because it is unlike anything we have here, where you have the guests actually interact with each other, and they're drinking, and it's very relaxed. And I think you get interviews there that are just, I don't think there's anything like it.
No,
here.
It's next level.
Yeah, it's something special.
Okay.
Stuff.
Cause for joy and celebration. What does Marie Kondo say? Does
this whatever it is, does this bring joy? Does
bring
this emit joy or something?
Yeah. Laurel and Hardy, year 2 Blu-ray disc set. Last year we got year 1, which is 1927,
mm-hmm.
when they first became a team at the Hal Roach Studios in the late 20s and started to find their characters
mm-hmm.
and define their characters. And in the company of Leo McCarey and behind the camera, running the camera, George Stevens, 2 guys who went on to become, great directors and cut their teeth working with Laurel and Hardy.
Hmm.
And this is year 2, 1928, which includes some of their greatest silent films, and with prints you've never seen look this good.
Hmm.
They've used 4 or 5 sources to get the very, very best, commissioned new music scores, done all sorts of digital restoration to make them look and sound great, and with commentaries by Randy Skretvet and Dick Ban, who know everything about these films and more. And you don't have to listen to them if you don't want to. I enjoy listening to them, and just great. And Kit Parker has released a new Charlie Chase 2-disc set with Late Silence, same period, 1927-28. If you don't know Charlie Chase already, you should. And if you know him, you'll want to see more of him. And this is an opportunity to see some of his funniest silent two-reel comedies.
And then you got a big boy.
And then there's this big, heavy book, which is hard to lift up like this, called Collecting Laurel and Hardy. And I don't know. I haven't yet met the authors, Danny Botcher and Bernie Hugya, but they approached me some months ago, sent me a PDF of what they were doing, and asked if I would write a foreword. And I said yes. So my name is on the cover too, which I'm very proud of.
Forward by Leonard Maltin. That's you.
Schiffer Publishing does collectibles books, usually in paperback and usually in full color. If you collect egg cups, I'm sure they have a book on collecting egg cups. If you collect ancient tools, ancient farm implements, I'm sure they have a book on ancient farm implements. This is their book on collecting Laurel and Hardy. Only it's a hardcover, beautifully designed and laid out and printed, and it is full of rare, incredible collectible stuff. Not just figurines and puppets.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, including personal things worn by Stan or Babe Hardy, owned by them. Some of Stan's
touched by them.
Some of Stan's voluminous correspondence. He was he answered every fan letter. And I don't know why just the phrase voluminous correspondence is funny. It just okay. Is that as good as indistinct chatter? Possibly. Yeah. That is a really good one, though. I do like to keep indistinct chatter. Oh, I did tell you about the train. See it, say it, sorted. This, which by the way, apparently is a thing that a lot of Americans react to. They Aziz Ansari even did a bit about it when he got to London. On the trains, they tell you, if you see anything, is going on, something doesn't seem right, you should report it. But their little tagline is, see it, say it, sorted. Just made me laugh. And I thought it would make you laugh too. Ken says, how many forwards have you written in your career? A lot. 8,000. A lot. It's like when one of my friends says, oh, I saw your dad in a documentary yesterday. And I go, yeah. Do you remember what it was about? No. It could be anything. Literally, truly, it could be almost anything. Maybe it's about those collecting egg cups. Yeah. Documentary where you're discussing your love of egg cups. Yeah. Who knows? Man, oh man. Well, this is a very big week, my friends, because it's someone's birthday. So I'm looking forward to celebrating him, but then we will be with you next week because I don't think it's Christmas yet. The teller at the bank the other day. No. Yeah. Really? Because he knew me. I have to show my ID. Yeah. Run a thing on your driver's license. Yeah. Before you can cash a check. He said, well, you're going to have a big birthday next year. I said, yeah. I said, the only benefit of that is that I won't have to take my shoes off at the airport. Hey, is that what 75 means? Yep. You don't have to? Yep. Well, you'll be 74 this year. Yep. A very young 74 this year. Still have to take off the shoes. Still have to take off the shoes. No such luck. But we will see you next week. I just looked up to see what next Sunday is, and it's the 22nd, so that's not Christmas yet. Nope. So yeah, we will see you next Sunday. Everybody, please take care and be